Ever since I did that 3-day egg cleanse a few days ago now, everything has cleared up. This is mugwort. So we're actually using this today to bring in a good energy. Like, yes, this can ward things away, but this is kind of like a dreamy, almost like a Piscean energy. This brings forth dreams. This brings forth inspiration. So that's what we're going to have in our reading today, especially with the Five of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck, 5-5. You could be seeing 5-5 or 5-5-5. Yeah, these messages have just been flowing ever since I did that egg cleanse. Things have become much, much clearer. 9 of Swords, yeah. Lovers. There have been choices that we've had to make. And what prompted me to do this reading to begin with is that I saw this imagery. Let me do another one. I saw this imagery as I'm saying this 3 of Wands of a dragon. And what that means to me is dragons are multi-dimensional creatures that are able to help bring us through timelines. Like they come to help aid us in our travel. Speaking of the 3 of Wands, yeah. They help us to go from like one dimension to another, multi-dimensional beings. So I saw that, so that's what our message is going to be about today, is traveling from one universe to another. So let's see what we can pull out on this, because we are moving up as a collective, and now is the time for us to actually be able to live our dreams in the way that we know them to be. Like, and be the people we know ourselves to be. It's like it's been a very clogged energy, and this is just because of the state of the world, right? That's on a macro level, but on a more micro level, what we've been experiencing is this kind of like a pipe that's clogged. 222, as I said that. There's this element of like, and this could be in relationships, this could be in relation to other things, the reason why we're clogged. Queen of Wands does what she wants. Oh, well, that's going to hurt their feelings, or what are they going to think about this? The Queen of Wands is like an artist. She's like a witch, like she kind of just lives her own life. Like when I see the Queen of Wands, I feel like she's the type of person that she wears like bright colors. She's eccentric. She's kind of almost odd in a way to me. And yet people can't take their eyes off of her because she has this kind of star-like quality, because she's so eccentric, because she's so bold, because she does what she wants. So I feel like the reason why the Queen of Wands is showing up here is because this is the advice for all of us to embrace this Queen of Wands energy right now. And what is that? 3 as I'm saying this, that's an Empress energy. It's just being who you already freaking are. This is not some like new concept, or how do I become more interesting, or how do I become more unique? You are unique and you are interesting, and I feel like that's actually what's tripped a lot of us up, is it's like we discount our own eccentricity, our own uniqueness, because we're so used to it. It's like, on one hand, this is a very Piscean energy, on one hand, we're like, nobody understands us. And they don't. It's not just in your mind, right? It's like, and you don't have to be a Pisces. I'm just saying it's that energy of like, people literally don't know what I'm talking about. They don't really understand me. They don't pick up my feelings like I pick up theirs. Like, I can just read people. This is you saying this is me saying this. And it's like we can be in a room of people and we can know everything about these people and be considerate about who they are and remember like details of their lives and bring them up. And 4 as I'm saying this, being a leader, like being somebody who sees the best in people and helps bring those things out. I'm not saying those are not all wonderful things, but what I'm here to say is Queen of freaking Wands. Male, female, non-binary, however you identify. This is an energy of just being who you already are. So what I was going to say, and I'm going to get to the cards. But I gotta set this up. This is the energy that I started in before the reading. I'm a channeler first and foremost. I only started reading cards a few years ago. I used to be a prophetic minister. I'm sure some of you guys have run across those videos if you watch tarot, like the prophetic word videos. Yeah, and I just opened up to the two of cups, and I had 222 in the start of the reading. But I put all my old readings on private, but I used to be somebody that posted prophetic word videos like every single day in this same format. I just didn't use cards. And for me, just quickly, as a Queen of Wands, this is a personal story for me. This has like been so fun for me. Like it's like I don't even want to call it a hobby. 5 for 5, as I just said that. Coming into the cards for me, it's like I finally have a way to express my word in images, because I'm an artistic sort of a person. I'm very visual, and I would write down my prophetic words in the past, and I would either read them or I would try to bullet point them and then describe them or share my dreams or whatever. But I feel like now this has given such another dimension to my messages because I'm able to show them in imagery. So anyways, with that said, I have been thinking since the end of 2021 that this has a point. This is the energy of what I'm trying to say about we just need to be ourselves, right? I started reading cards secretly, of course. I actually cut up my first tarot deck and threw it in a garbage can that wasn't even at my house, because I was convinced that there were like demonic entities trying to like choke me because I couldn't eat for 3 months because I was doing tarot. I tried to figure out what was going on with me, and I was like, oh God, everybody was right. It really is demonic. And I'll tell this story more in depth another day. So this was when I was new at it, and I didn't even really know anything about tarot. I knew that it was wrong according to the church. But to me, I was like, isn't this just like what we're already doing with these prophetic words? But anyways, it's taken me a few years to finally get comfortable on camera again and just do, like, share my messages, basically. Like, I'm a messenger. Like, I have to share these things. When I don't, I literally feel like I'm, like, rocking back and forth like this. I have, like, pent-up energy. I, like, have to get it out. Speaking of the Queen of Wands. Okay. My point was saying all that is that we need to just follow. It's taken me 2 years or more now, like 3 years, to even like get to this point. Just talking to you guys right now, I was already here years ago, like just reading cards in my room. I could have done this same exact video years ago, but I didn't because of all of these external circumstances and what people were saying to me, that I was literally living like a life of sin. Like, so many people have told me I'm gonna burn in hell for doing this right now, talking to you guys. And as the Queen of Wands, I had to just be like, whatever. And I just started putting out tarot readings for the past few years. And I feel like I'm finally at the place where I can finally kind of settle in my seat a little bit here. Settle in my my seat. Settle in on the throne here. And I feel like that's what we're coming into right now, and that's why the dragons are appearing, because we are moving transdimensionally right now. Oh my God. Okay, hold on. King and Queen of Wands. I also opened up to the Two of Cups before. See, this is another part of this message, and then I'm going to open the cards. See, they're looking away from each other right now. It's almost like they're looking for what I'm saying. It's like they're looking for a way to express themselves, and in that, it's almost like as they're looking, they're gonna then, like, I can't show it because but when they look like this, then they're looking at each other. It's like you're going to go out looking for yourself and you're going to find yourself, quote unquote, because that's what we're doing. We're being ourselves, and by being ourselves, we're going to find more of ourselves, right? But what I was saying a couple minutes ago, and then I'm going to open the cards, let me just finish this point, is that we have been in this time of discounting things about ourselves that just seem like very, very normal, and thinking to ourselves, how can I become more unique? How can I stand out in this world? And this is subconscious. Like, this doesn't have to be like me, like you're putting yourself out there. I'm always thinking of that stuff from like a marketing perspective, just off my spiritual and off into that realm. It's like, how can I be entertaining? How can I be interesting? How can I keep an audience? Like all that sort of stuff, right? But at the same time, it's like the irony is that if I would just be myself, that's what's 1111. That's what's interesting about me. It's just the stuff that's normal. And I'm like, wait, this is a message Spirit's been giving me for the past few months. Like, or really, it's been like a year at least. But 1122, I keep seeing as well. It's like 1 2, 1 to the 2. Okay. Also, like these two birds that are looking at each other is really standing out to me as well right now. All right. But it's this message that just keeps coming through and keeps coming through to me for my guides to be like, Missy, this is the irony. If you would just be yourself, that is the unique thing. And I know that sounds so corny, like just be yourself and that's what makes you unique. And like, I know this is like kindergarten stuff, but no, like it's not simple. It's not obvious, because especially if you're raised in certain 1212, like if you're raised in toxicity or you've been through toxicity as an adult, like you've dated people that were abusive or hurtful, or you have like relationship PTSD, you know, or religious PTSD like I do. I mean, I have relationship PTSD too. Don't get it twisted. There's just a lot of stuff that we can go through, business failures, wanting to do something and feeling like we can't find the motivation to do it, feeling like chronic fatigue syndrome, exhausted, keep getting sick, you know, dealing with mental illness or physical ailments, all these things that stop us from just being in the reality of the now, of where we are right now. Let's just take a minute. Right now. This is reality. Every single thing that has happened to you in your past, every person you've ever known, it's almost as if they don't exist. Because in this moment right now, this is the reality. You inside of yourself. Because this is the crazy thing, and this is part of this dragon stuff here. And this is the stuff I'm into, right? Because I'm a weirdo. When people are, the perception that people have of you is most of the time going to be literally like watching two different movies. Like your perception of reality is like watching one movie. Somebody else's perception of reality is literally watching a completely different movie. So when you compare notes, it's like discordant. But I think that this is what this message is, of 1414, by the way. This message is kind of coming around to be, and I promise I'm going to get to the cards. I got to set up. What I just said is people watching two different movies, and of course we all do, right? But there is this magic happening right now in the collective where it's like, some of us are going to start to understand, wait, are we watching the same movie? Like you're seeing what I'm seeing, right? It's kind of like being outside of the matrix and understanding what you're understanding and they're understanding what you're understanding. And it's like, wait, you see that and I see that and nobody else sees that, or not many people see it. And there will be a harmony within these connections that will come together, but only on a state of, on the astral. Like, it starts in the astral, and then it will come into the 3D where you will meet up with these people. Right? All right. But the message here is we need to just literally cut out everything. I'm talking media. I'm talking like your consumption of anything, even food. Like, I'm really trying to focus on my food recently. My stomach hurts really freaking bad right now. Like, I've been trying to change the way I'm eating, not even for weight loss, but because I'm like, I feel like shit. So I'm focusing on everything that I'm consuming. I feel like we all should right now. It's a crazy time, and we're about to be moving into an even crazier time with all this political shit and everything that I don't care about. I don't agree with either. I don't agree with any. I feel like the entire system needs to be, and I don't even want to speak on politics ever. I don't care, but it's just every single thing. We need to go to the root and change the entire structure of how things are run. I don't think anything is what it should be. But anyways, we're heading into all of that. So we need to prepare ourselves mentally so that when everybody's screaming and running around and oh my God, and all these crazy things are happening, of course they're happening. We need to be here. We need to be here now. So when all that crap happens and everybody's freaking out, we're just walking through the crowd. Like, we're almost just like moving through the crowd like a poltergeist. Undetected, unaffected, and we're just on our business. And we're just continuing to do what we've always been doing, and we're going to be unaffected. Because we've actually already moved into a timeline that's ahead of the timeline now. Or ahead of, above is how I would see it. It's like you're running parallel. Like, these are the timelines. Like, this is everybody else, right? And this is where we are. It's like this. Let me do this. It's like this. And this is us. So you're almost like, it's kind of like a bird that flies above the storm, but with time. And that's what the dragons are here to talk about today, is like they're helping us. They're not really helping us move to a different timeline. Technically, I feel like it's more like this, parallel. They're helping us move like this. So we're just a little bit removed from all of that stuff. We're a little bit removed from the storm. And when we can get to that place, and it's about raising our vibration. That's why I was talking about being careful what you consume and stuff. If you consume a lot of negative shit, you think it's not going to affect you, but it's going in. Even, there are studies done about passive learning and things like that. So in a positive way, you can put something on in the background, something educational, an audiobook, podcast, whatever, and you can be playing it in the background, barely listening to it, and it's going into your subconscious mind. But in that same fashion, and that's a good thing, but in that same fashion, if you are playing stuff kind of passively that's negative and that is affecting your psychology, and your intuition is starting to become blurred, and you're starting to become lethargic, and you don't care about your passions anymore, and you're starting to think that nothing about you is unique and blah, blah, blah. It's like, I would do an elimination diet. That's what I've been doing recently. It's like I've been trying to get as bored as possible, as quiet as possible. Like, I literally have just been sitting, like, just in my chair, just sitting there, sitting in my rocking chair and just rocking. And I just put on, like, frequencies or, like, meditation music in the background, or even just, like, I like to put on a fireplace on the TV. And I'll literally just sit there silently. On purpose, because everything is so loud. I literally feel like I'm going like this. And instead of going crazy, and instead of becoming almost like mentally ill because of the energy that I'm always feeling all the time, and I'm sure you relate if you're a highly sensitive person, an HSP, an empath, somebody who deals with energy, you know. I try to get as bored as possible. I try to get as quiet as possible. All right, we're going to open up the cards. This is our time. This is an 8-year. This is our time to actually start really putting in a lot of effort into our passions this year. With this King and Queen of Wands energy, they go for what they want and they get it. They're very inspirational energies, that they're go-getters, they're mavericks, they're entrepreneurs. They are at the leading edge of bleeding edge. Is that the phrase? They're like right at the line of the next revolution of technology and trends and investments and foresight of, like, even in fashion and stuff, like, oh, what's going to be popular next season. Like, they know about all that. They see that. They're connected. They're very spiritual, even if they don't realize it. It's like they're tapped into the pulse. The pulse of society is how I see them. They're cool. Like, they're like ahead of the curve. They're people that people are making videos about. Like, they are, and I know that's kind of looked at as like Aquarius and stuff, but it's kind of almost like a Leo Aquarius in a way. But anyways, card number 1, 5 of Cups. Yeah. See, this is where, and remember we got the 2 5s at the beginning of this reading. You could be seeing 5 5 or 5 5 5. It's like we've been in this like emo phase, and this is the crazy part, and I'm not saying that we shouldn't take responsibility for ourselves. I feel like we already do all that, and I'm talking to people that already do all that. You're already doing the work, you're already doing the shadow work, you're already doing all that. 2 2 2 2 2 when I 2 2 2 2 when I said that. See, it's like you're going to be connecting with people. You're going to be like magnetizing to people that are also doing that work. I think that's what the 2s are about. This is like dual. This is what's happening in your life on a micro level, but it's also happening on a macro level. And what we're going to find is that it's like we're going to find these people up here, and it's going to be kind of like pulling up next to them in a car, and it's going to be like, "Oh, hey, I know you." It's like they're going to be up there with you, and that's how you're going to meet these people. But I feel like we've been in this kind of like emo zone because it's like we absorb other people's energy. That's what I was going to say before. I'm not saying we don't take responsibility for our emotions in our own life and learn how to emotionally regulate and deal with our crap and learn how to cope and figure out what makes us happy. That's our responsibility. We don't blame our partners or our parents for raising us wrong, or, teachers for not teaching us correctly, or the school systems because they're terrible, or the government because this and that, or the recession, or all. We know that our lives are our own responsibility, right? That's who I'm talking to. So what happens a lot of the time, it's almost like I'm seeing a weight on his shoulders today. It's like he has this weight on his shoulders, taking on the pain of the world as well as his own. So we're in this time, again, that 2 of Cups. And I think this is what will make us feel happier, is that we're going to see that there are other people here as well. Other people are like riding on the backs of those dragons. And we're going to be like, hey, I know you. Hey. Right? So it is going to make us happier, but we can start now even if we don't know anybody else. I mean, we know each other, right? We have each other. And I feel like that's because we're riding up here, man. You know what I'm saying? So if that doesn't make you smile, then card number 2, 7 of Pentacles. We're at this choice point, I feel, where it's like, are we going to continue? That's what I'm seeing. It's the parallels. this is Seven of Pentacles, Five of Cups. This is the choice point. Are we going to continue staying? Let's do this. Are we going to continue staying down here, or are we going to upgrade and come up here where we're also going to find other people? It's like whatever has been happening for lots of reasons, everything we just talked about, right? Taking on other people's energy, trying to figure out who we are, thinking are we unique or not, going through all this stuff. Like, it took me a couple years to finally get here to just talk freely and just be myself. It's taken me a while. It's like now we're at this choice point, Seven of Pentacles, where we're like, are we going to continue staying in this kind of energy of like just absorbing the crap of the world as well as our own and kind of staying sad? Because the world's not getting brighter. I hate to tell you that. I'm sorry, but that's why we're here. We're here as light beams. We're here as the lighthouse in the storm. So things are only getting darker while we're getting brighter, but that's the decision that we have to make. It's easier to absorb into the crowd, right? It's easier or into that energy. It's easier to kind of just pull up the covers and just kind of just lay in that filth of sadness. It's kind of like laying in the trash bags out in the alleyway, and you kind of just pull up an old beach towel over you or something, and you kind of just lay down in that Five of Cups and die. Right? That's kind of the energy, man. So it's like, nah. This is our choice point, and we're at this choice point. And it's funny that it's showing up in Pentacles because this is like real world stuff. I feel like there's been a lot going on in the 5D, and now the choice is going to show itself in the 3D. Like the choices that we've already been making. We had the Lovers at the start about choices. The choice point in the 3D is now here. So now things can actually get better. We're probably going to also be meeting people in the 3D that are on our level. Another nod to those cards. Card number 3 is the Ten of Pentacles. See, I feel like this is also practical 3D world stuff. It's like we're going to be coming up with the ideas as well that are like the new business. Like it's like Internet 3.0. It's like it's like the next of the next. We're like already ahead because as seers, as people who know things, like I talked about being like at that edge of the next with this energy, we're already there. I feel like what Spirit is saying is you want to go even a level higher? Cause we got more where that came from. Oh, you like seeing 5 years in trends ahead of time? We can do you one better. We can do like 12 if you're interested. And I feel like that's what the 7 to the 10 is. And it could be straight up financial. See, that I came from the church where they taught about, that wealth is of the devil, basically. Let's just keep it snappy, right? So that puts those weird money blocks inside. I feel like God, the divine source, is very money based, especially when they're sliding that money over to you, right? It's like they're writing you a check. Yeah, here's $100,000 to do your work because you're the only one who will freaking do anything. It's like Spirit's happy to give you money. Right? And it's not all about like, oh, I'm gonna save I'm gonna change the world, I'm gonna save everybody, I'm gonna do all this, I'm gonna do all that. It's not even about that. I don't know how to describe it. It's like maybe you just having money is just the point of it, is so that other people can be like, yo, so and so is rolling in money. Why can't I? I'm gonna start my own business. This is that inspirational energy. Like, we're here to be an inspiration, King and Queen of Wands. We're here to inspire other people. And half the time, we don't even have to say anything. There's no speaking cards here. This is 3D stuff. This 5 of Cups is like the inner emotions. This is like the outer, like, ambition of just doing what we're doing, starting our businesses, coming up with ideas, doing our stuff that we do that people are, like, watching, because people are always watching. Even if you think nobody's watching, people are watching you. right? They're seeing what you're doing and how you're doing and what you're wearing and what you're saying, and it's like you're this forerunner energy. We are, as a collective, and we're here on purpose to kind of go against the grain. Nobody understands me. Great! They're not supposed to. That's what we're here for. We're here to be the message, the living message, right? And maybe that looks like you having an extremely successful lifestyle and a great family, because this is a card of family and home and community. It's more than just you, right? Maybe your life lived is just to showcase that, right? Especially if you're in a spiritual field, you know, right? Could just be as simple as that. But what I am seeing here is more on a metaphorical, philosophical level as well. From the 7 to the 10, it's like we have a choice. Are we good with the 7? Because seven of Pentacles is a lot of progress. He has all these pentacles here. He's done a lot. But I feel like Spirit is like, I can do you one better. And it's this 7 to the 10. It's like, we're good here. Like, we're chilling. But I feel like Spirit is saying, we're going to give you, and that's that dragon energy, we're going to give you an opportunity to travel just a little bit higher than you've already been. It's not saying that you're not doing a great job, that you haven't already built a lot and done a lot and become many things and worked through a lot of your own shadow work and sadness and things that haven't gone as you hoped they would. It's like, that's all. This is the progress, but I feel like the choice point is, but do you want more? Are you willing to have the courage, King and Queen of Wands, to go for the 10 of Pentacles, which is everything you want and more? I think that's the question of the day. I love you guys. It's been Missy Gordon, the Metamystic here. Hey, I'm going for it. So I'll see you up here. See, look, going on a journey, meeting soulmates. There we are. I love you guys. See you on the next one.